The Sunday Night Anthem, presented by Uber Eats.
Some fun now.
Whoa, what a play!
That was sick.
The rain has moved out. It's a mild final Sunday of November in Philadelphia, and 70,000 ending Thanksgiving weekend in South Philly at the Link, home of the team with the best record in the NFL, the 9-1 Philadelphia Eagles, led by their MVP candidate Jalen Hurts, and tonight taking on the back-to-back reigning MVP, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. It's Sunday Night Football on NBC, and thanks for having us in. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark here in a little bit. Since the start of the season, the Eagles have been the #1 team. They won their first 8, split the last 2, and maybe there's a reason for concern. What do you think?
Struggling a little bit on offense, too many turnovers, but I'll tell you, Mike, this team reminds me a little bit of the 2017 Super Bowl championship team. That team was so tough on the offensive and defensive line, and now they have a quarterback who's just as tough as any of them out there. Jalen Hurts been playing some great football.
The Eagles are the #1 seed in the NFC right now. That's what Green Bay has been the last 2 seasons at the end. But we know the story. They're 4-7. We've heard it. Is this their last stand? Let's forget about winning out. What about tonight? How do they win the game this evening?
Let's go back 10 days. The Titans beat them up. And honestly, the Eagles could do the exact same thing. You can talk all you want about Aaron Rodgers and these wide receivers, but tonight's game is going to be about toughness. It's going to be about grit. It's going to be about Aaron Rodgers, and I think Aaron is fired up for this one.
Philly knows Aaron's in town. He's 5-1 all time against the Eagles. It's a lot of green. It's the Eagles, and it's the Packers. We have it for you from South Philly on Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Hyundai. It's your journey. And by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Untuckit.com, the National Football League.
All right. Thanksgiving is over. Time to move on to a new show. No more of this putting our differences aside, because deep down we love one another. So let me set the stage for you. Let's go! It's time to get dirty, to scrap, clash, rumble.
The Commanders have beaten the unbeaten Eagles.
And now we're angry. One loss is one too many losses for this team.
Take advantage of the moment.
Especially considering what this team and this city is chasing.
Super Bowl champion.
We welcome what's coming next. Animosity, acrimony, hostility. And that's just how Rodgers feels about his receivers. Seriously though, let's go! Let's see him take on this defense. I'm over leftovers. I'm done with the small talk. Let's get ugly. Let's play football, doggone it! Packers, Eagles in the Sunday night spotlight.
The holiday season's done, I guess, huh? I love Brian Dawkins. 13 years with the Eagles, went into the Hall of Fame in 2018. Still bringing it as we set the table for the Packers and the Eagles tonight. And more on the quarterback this Philly defense will face with Melissa Stark.
Mike, Aaron Rodgers has been dealing with a right thumb injury since week 5. And this week he revealed that thumb on his throwing hand is actually broken. He told us he's had it x-rayed a few times and there hasn't been much change. It just needs time to heal. He said the 5 days off after last Thursday's loss to the Titans helped, and that this week was the first time since the injury that he took all reps in practice. He admitted it isn't 100% and that the fracture does affect his grip. Head coach Matt LaFleur said he's seen him throw some rare non-spirals, but Rodgers told us he still believes in himself and this team. He reminded us of the 2016 season when the Packers were 4-6, came to Philadelphia and beat the Eagles in prime time. They went on to run the table all the way to the conference championship. He reminded his players as well, Mike.
It's that time for them. Nick Sirianni's Eagles looking to stay too clear of Dallas. They visit the Cowboys on Christmas Eve. On the other side for the Packers, Matt LaFleur's company looking at a wild card shot at this point. Did get some help with the results today, so a Packer win changes the complexion of the last 5 games. Mason Crosby set to kick it off for Green Bay, and it's Boston Scott, who was the main kickoff return man in 2020, stepping into that role for the first time in 2022. Mild here at the Lynx, 61 degrees at kickoff. Scott's going to chase it to the end zone. It's a touchback, and here is the Philadelphia offense.
Jalen Hurts, Channelview High School.
Miles Sanders, Penn State.
A.J. Brown, Ole Miss.
Quez Watkins, Athens High School.
Devontae Smith, Alabama.
Jack Stoll, Nebraska.
Jordan Mailata, Jeff Stoutland, University.
Landon Dixon, Umont Elementary.
Jason Kelsey, Cincinnati.
HackzSaw Marvel, Oregon State.
Lane Johnson, Groveton High School.
Offensive line star all but one game together. The Eagles offense is 4th in points, 5th in yards. They're missing Dallas Goedert, who has a shoulder injury. They just have kids come out and grab the tee after the kickoff. Well, the kid who was out there to grab the tee just stood out there. They finally got him off the field. Glad somebody saw it. All right, there you go. Got the picture. All ready to go. Boston Scott will start as the back. And here is Hurts with the 25. That pass knocked down right away. So it begins with a deflection by Kingsley Enagbari. So it's Hurts at quarterback for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts has gone from question mark to exclamation point on this team. Really unsure if he was the guy going into the year. 2nd or 3rd choice in the MVP race right now. He has changed it with those numbers, including a big factor with his legs. 8 rushing touchdowns on the season. Miles Sanders comes in, and the running back's at the top of the screen for 2nd and 10. Four-man rush by the Packers. Hurts looking deep, comes to the sideline and incomplete. He's trying to get it over to Devontae Smith, so it'll be 3rd down. Adrian Amos over there on the coverage.
Mike, already a change here for the Green Bay Packers on defense. Rudy Ford is in starting at one of the safety positions for Darnell Savage. And one of the things that the Packers spent a lot of time talking about this week is we have to be tougher. We have to be more physical. And that's exactly right, trying to take on this power running game of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Rotating all the backs here in this early series. Kenneth Gainwell now in. It's 3rd and 10. Hurts stepping up, got away from the man who was policing him, and Hurts gets the first down and more. It's a gain of 23 to the 48-yard line. Rudy Ford got him at the sideline. 2 had a chance, couldn't get to him, and a Packer is injured on the play.
Well, you want to know why it's so hard to play the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts? They've got a spy sitting right there waiting on him. But you got to get him on the ground, and that's not so easy to do anymore. This young man very much in the MVP race because of plays just like that.
And the injured Packers, the man we just mentioned, was not starting. Darnell Savage, who has been the starting safety the first 11 games, as he was cutting back when Hurts was coming across. He went down, and The athletic training staff out looking at his leg. That's what we said when we introduced him, and as you said, this is the difference he makes. You watch the quarterbacks who are having the best seasons, their ability to do that is what has put them in these great spots this year.
Well, and Mike, that's what you do as a coach, right? You put X's and O's on the board, and they had plenty of X's and O's out there. But eventually, you take your best athlete at the linebacker position, that being Quay Walker, put him right there, and you say, all right, if he runs, you tackle him. But he couldn't tackle him.
Savage helped off. Here is what happened to Savage as they brought in extra DBs on third down. You see that left leg twists and turns awkwardly. That's what they were looking at. So they bring him over to the sideline for further examination. Officially, it was a gain of 24. And Hurts and the Eagles have it at the 49-yard line. Here's Sanders to the left, and Miles gains about 5 against this Green Bay defense.
Dean Lowry, Northwestern. Kenny Clark, UCLA.
Jaron Reed, Alabama. Preston Smith, Stevenson High School.
Chris Barnes, UCLA.
Quay Walker, Chris County High School.
Kingsley Nagbari, South Carolina.
John Money Alexander, Louisville.
Adrian Amos, Baltimore, Maryland.
Rudy Ford, Auburn.
Rasul Douglas, Sussex Ave.
Douglas and Ford, former Eagles, come back and play against their old team. After the gain of 5, here's Sanders for a first down as he lowers the shoulder and takes it inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Miles Sanders, 8th in attempts, 9th in yards in rushing this year.
So you see the shell coverage in behind, and so that's going to allow this big offensive line to start with their double teams and get in the push.
Eagles jump into a little tempo from the 38 on this opening drive. Hurts pass is complete. We'll get it to Devontae Smith, the 2020 Heisman Trophy winner. Jair Alexander, the corner on the tackle. Good gain on first down.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles played a little tempo with this game tonight, because Devondre Campbell, the signal caller for the Packers, is out. Quay Walker, the rookie, is in calling those signals, so you try and speed up that process a bit for him.
Second and 4, Sanders bouncing it to the outside, strung out, brought down. Good play by a guy who just showed up. Justin Holland started the week with the Rams, was cut, acquired by the Packers, flew into Green Bay on Thursday, and here he is making a play on Sunday.
Yeah, well, your job is to set the edge, no matter which defense you're in, and here he is setting the edge. And the play comes out, and he's certainly athletic enough to make that play. He's a good pass rusher.
Got that hand off the nameplate there. Could have been, if it would have stayed there longer, a foul for a horse collar. 3rd and 6. Hurts design run takes off. Easily the first down. Hurts on his way. 1st and goal for Philadelphia. The legs of Hurts on this opening drive. Gains of 24 and now 27. They're going to stay out there and go quick and try to knock him out right here. And it's Gainwell's the back. He's got it. And he'll go down to the 3-yard line. Adrian Amos on the tackle.
Take a quick look here, and this time Jason Kelsey right up on the linebacker, so he didn't even have to make him miss. I think you have to play the run from the quarterback position first against the Philadelphia Eagles.
From the 4, Gainwell slams it inside and in for an opening Eagles touchdown. .51 of the 75 on the ground with Hurts.
And oh, by the way, if you want to just go get physical, let's get physical up front here. Philadelphia Eagles, they have a lot of beef right up front, and so you can play the finesse game. They can throw the ball, they can run with their quarterback, and when it gets right down to nasty time, they can blow you off the ball too.
Jake Elliott had the ankle injury earlier this year. On for the extra point on this windy night. He knocks it through. 2 long drives of 24 and 28. 2 of the 3 longest runs of the season by Hurts. Sets it up Gainwell takes it in. 7-0, Philadelphia. Let's go places. And by Liberty Mutual Insurance, only pay for what you need. If you need something other than turkey, how about Denick's Roast Pork? Been around for over a century in the Reading terminal market. The Nicolosi family opened a butcher shop in South Philly. 4th generation selling the classic Italian sandwiches. Because the turkey's about done now, right? You clean out the refrigerator tonight, you move on back to regularly scheduled eating.
Just hit that tips jar hard, man. Holiday season. Let's go.
That's
Inside
right.
out.
That's
Let's
right.
go.
Ball blowing off the tee as Jake Elliott is set to kick off. As we mentioned, the unseasonably mild night, also with some wind, gusts of around 20 miles per hour at times. We got the goalpost to our left shaking as you watch. Field goals going right to left on your screen are going to be the ones that will be the toughest to make. Keyshawn Nixon's back to be the kick returner. He muffed it, decided to take it out, fell down, was touched, and that was not pretty. Long field for the Green Bay offense.
Aaron Rodgers, Butte Community College.
Aaron Jones, El Paso, Texas. Alan Lazard, Iowa State.
Christian Watson, North Dakota State.
Robert Tunyon, McHenry East Campus.
Mercedes Lewis, UCLA.
David Bakhtiari, Colorado.
Elton Jenkins, Mississippi State.
Josh Myers, Ohio State.
John Runyon, Michigan.
Josh Nyman, Virginia Tech.
Same offensive line started the last 3 games. It's some rare stability for a Packer team scoring under 19 points a game this year. 26th in the league. Aaron Jones the back. Aaron Rodgers is back and throwing across the field. And Watson can't bring it in. Christian Watson coming across the 20-yard line. Could not secure the catch. You know, Aaron Rodgers' first pass of the year was a long one that Watson couldn't secure. And from that point on, it's just been off. No matter what you look at with Green Bay, it's just been off. And the numbers for Rodgers, we'll detail it a bit later on. Some of the lowest numbers we've seen in his now 18th year in the NFL.
And Watson has been dropping some balls early in games. We saw it against Dallas. He dropped the first 2 and then came back and had a monster day. So it's what they need.
From the 9, inside, Jones on the run. Aaron Jones takes it to around the 14-yard line. Pick up about 5 for Jones, who is 7th in the league in rushing yards, just under 800. He's top 10 in yards from scrimmage as well. This backfield has to set some of the tone for Green Bay here again tonight.
No, all the tone. They have to run the football tonight. We saw it in Buffalo, same sort of thing, even when they were way behind. They've got to establish that they can run the ball to create the one-on-ones on the outside to hopefully get some big plays.
Romeo Doubs, the rookie, remains out with a high ankle injury. Pressure up the middle. Rodgers escapes the sack, keeps it alive, fires towards Lazard. It's deflected and intercepted 2 feet down by Josiah Scott. And the Eagles have it at the Packers 29.
Javon Hargrave's been a nightmare all season long. That one, a header off the head of Darius Slay, and there we go for the Philadelphia Eagles. An absolutely horrible start. Here's Hargrave. Watch him run right by. Nobody blocks him at all. Rodgers does a great job escaping, which ended up being the worst thing that he could have done.
And off the head of Slay and into the hands of Scott for his first career NFL interception. And Rodgers throwing more picks than normal this year. That his 8th. And Hurts will take over from the 29. It's Miles Sanders pulled at the 25, and Quay Walker, the rookie linebacker, drags him a couple more yards to the 23, a pickup of 6.
Mike, you watch as much of this stuff as I do over here. If you're the Green Bay Packers on defense, you have to keep Jalen from running the ball, right? Yep. You can't. At the end of the game, they basically won the game in Indy because he was able to run it at the end and go in. If he beats you throwing the ball, you got to say so be it. But you can't allow him to run the ball the way he did on that first drive.
2nd and 4. He's going to keep it and pull it. Chase to the edge, turns on the speed, and a first down around the 15-yard line. Adrian Amos was there after Preston Smith couldn't tackle him.
So you get great players from the backside to run this. But what happens here is when you have a quarterback that can run, it adds a blocker to the scheme. It's old high school football. If your quarterback has the ability to run the ball, you no longer have the disadvantage of offense, quarterback handing off and standing there and watching the play, right? And the Philadelphia Eagles can run it really well with their quarterback.
Sanders to the end zone. Touchdown again. What a start for the Eagles. Number 7 on the year for Miles Sanders.
Kenny Clark inside is going to have a shot at this one, but really that was a trap on the outside with Jaron Reed, and they are just fooling and disguising and tricking and running over the Green Bay Packers at this point.
Elliott's extra point is no good. It was off to the right and no good. His 2nd missed extra point of the season. It's the only thing that hasn't gone Philly's way in the first 6 minutes. 2 rushing touchdowns. First Gainwell, now Sanders, and 13-0 Birds. The Voice is live. Vote in real time to decide which artist will continue on The Voice. It's live Mondays and Tuesdays at 8, 7 Central on NBC and streaming on Peacock. Link is rocking, as it has been all season long. The 9-1 Philadelphia Eagles. Ball off the tee again for Elliott. 2nd time in a row with the wins down at this end of the stadium. Touchdown run by Sanders, by the way. That's his 7th. That is a career high. There's a lot more season to go.
Right now, the Eagles on pace to rush for 800 yards in this game. I'm not even kidding you. I just did it. Maybe more.
We'll have a story if that happens, right? Return here by Nixon. Across the 30. Nice move. Still on his feet and going across the 40-yard line. So after the poor kick return last time, determined to make it a better one. And here is the Philadelphia defense.
Brandon Graham, Detroit Crockett.
Fletcher Cox, Kansas City High School. Javon Hargrave, South Carolina State.
Josh Sweat, Florida State.
Hassan Reddick, Temple University.
TJ Edwards, Wisconsin.
Kazir White, Lackawanna.
James Bradbury, Sanford.
Marcus Epps, Wyoming.
CJ Gardner-Johnson, Florida.
Darius Big Play Slay, Brunswick High School.
Only San Francisco giving up fewer yards per game, and there are some additions to the Eagles defense I'll tell you about here as we get going. Aaron Jones gets going. Good run right near the first down. He's got it on the Eagles side of midfield to the 49-yard line.
One of the really good things that the Packers have been doing lately is they've really gotten this outside running game of theirs going with Jones. And it used to be sort of split the carries between Dillon and Jones, but that flashiness, that speed, his ability in the passing game, seeing a little bit more of Jones now.
5.5 fewer snaps. Run on the edges. Those corners will be tested. Darius Slay, James Bradbury, but in coverage, those two have been terrific. Inside run, Jones. Fletcher Cox says, okay, enough of that. One of the many double-digit year veterans on this Eagles defensive front, and that one's been here for a long time.
We've talked about him a lot over the course of his career and my career. Look at the knockback. Do you see what he did off the ball? The difference with this team, they're not a two-gap team. They're not reading and reacting. They're blowing up and reacting, and nobody does that better than Fletcher Cox. He has been fantastic for his entire career.
Second 11, Rodgers swings it out. Aaron Jones, 3 offensive linemen. Great play design there. Eagles wanted to hold. Jones going all the way to the 20. Pick up of 30 as Aaron Jones doing damage on the edge.
Great job. They run a bootleg action away, and Jones is going to get the play fake and then go stand behind 3 big offensive linemen over there who do a terrific job to get this one out. And if Aaron Jones can get going like that, if this running game can pick it up, the play action can win for the Green Bay Packers.
Good cut, Dillon up the middle. A.J. Dillon to the end zone, touchdown. And the Packers respond right away. Is Dillon down? There's one official who was walking in for a look at it on the side. They put the arms up for touchdown. We'll take a peek at it as he was trying to drag a DB to the end zone.
It looks like a touchdown to me.
Me too. He comes down, that's good. C.J. Gardner-Johnson taken for a ride by powerful 6 foot, 250-pound A.J. Dillon. The veteran Mason Crosby. Not the best snap, handled nicely. Crosby adds the extra point. Woof! Fast start here. All right, Packer fans up in Wisconsin, you were getting set to turn it down tonight. There you go. They got you on your feet. Long drive, capped off with the Dillon touchdown.
The best surprises are found where you least expect them. At a price that you won't believe. Where? Lowe's, actually. Black Friday is here. Get our best deals on everything for the season while you can.
There is Jeffrey Lurie, almost 3 decades of owning the Philadelphia Eagles. Bought this team in 1994. What a job he's done, this organization. And a guy from Boston, a Boston kid who grew up going to Patriots games. Really made Philadelphia so much a part of his life, his home. And his Eagles over his tenure have been always right in the mix. And they are again this year. Best record in the league at 9-1. The kickoff return by Boston Scott is taken out to the 27-yard line. So the Batman theme, Darius Slay brought it up for the receivers, but it fits the quarterback too. Jalen Hurts, the numbers have gotten better each year significantly in terms of completion percentage and the run threat Chris has been talking about. Tying Cam Newton through 30 starts for the most by a QB in NFL history. Yards per pass is terrific, and rushing touchdown, it's the whole league, 6th. Chance to be in the top 5 in both. That hasn't happened in 50 years in the NFL. One for 3 throwing tonight. He's done the damage with his legs. It's Miles Sanders' legs that time. Chris gaining 7 yards.
Yeah, and it was interesting to talk with Jalen Hurts, wasn't it? A very serious-minded guy, and you were talking about him as well. Just the idea that somebody so young could be that serious-minded. But that really is the fit here in Philadelphia. With this team, with this offensive line, it really has been a magical fit.
Inside gives Sanders here for a couple of yards. I'll give you an example of that we were talking. He said to us he was thinking during the week about a comment he made to the media in his press availability. He said, I set the temperature. And he was thinking, well, did that come off the wrong way? So to be a couple of years in the league, his 3rd, and to be thinking in that way, that shows you the maturity and the preparation for the position of this guy.
And not one person on this football team would have disputed it. He does.
Right.
He does.
He knows when you're the quarterback, the energy of the team and the offense feed off of your actions. And a lot of his actions have been those gains on 3rd and 1, but he got pulled back here. Enagbare may have kept him short of a first down, which is rare on 3rd and 1.
Yeah, they came off the side over here and pulled him backwards. We have seen this quarterback sneak work almost every time, but for whatever reason, they didn't do the one where they came up behind him and just pushed the entire pile. But Enagbare pulling him backwards, I don't think he got it.
Bringing out the chains for a measurement. 18 for 20 on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 runs. So it's been one of the most guaranteed plays in the NFL this year. But not there.
I mean, here's a quarterback that squats 600 pounds. He's one of the most powerful guys in the entire league at that quarterback position. Probably is the most powerful one. But here they go, and they're going to go for it. And the reason they are, and I guarantee you they go back to the old quarterback sneak here.
The maul?
They'll have the maul. They'll have people in behind them. They'll push the whole thing forward. And if that doesn't work, then Green Bay gets the football.
There you see the chances of converting. Well, this 4th and inches for the Eagles. And they rush to the ball quick. They move early. I thought they might have moved early.
I did too.
The ball came out. And the mark from the line judge might have it short. So a lot happened there. And as we said, it's rare to see them stopped at all on one of these 3rd and 1s or 4th and 1s.
It looked like Isaac Seumalo left just a little bit early to me on that one. And that would be best case.
But there's no flag down there. Now we have a fumble in here too on 4th down.
And you can't fumble it forward.
Sean Smith getting cleared out. Let's take a peek at, where's the movement?
Was the snap? The snap was lost right from the beginning.
Looked it. It's a good peek inside. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and you can see Chase and Kelsey trying to keep his hand on the ball from the center position as well.
Right.
To make sure that Hurts got it. And nobody else was moving except Kelsey and Seumalo on the play.
You know, Chris, where it ends up there, and his knee is down. Yep, it's short.
Wow.
It's short. That's a stunning turnaround. The team that handles 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 better than any team in the league is stopped not once but twice. And Rodgers and the Packers have the ball at the 38 with a chance to get back in it right away.
Live for me.
During the break, Chris and I were talking with Terry McCauley, 3-time Super Bowl referee, who's always in our studio with us. And we were watching. That was one of the more bizarre looking plays. And the more you look at it, the more bizarre it gets, Terry.
Yeah, Mike, does Kelsey ever really release the ball? I mean, there's the potential this is an illegal snap and should have been killed. Officials couldn't see that. Miles Sanders getting it is legal because it's a backward pass and he just takes the snap if it was a legal snap.
You've seen a lot, and you said it's one of the more bizarre things you've seen. So interesting there, and great opportunity for Aaron Jones and the Packers here, a gain of 2 to the 35-yard line.
I'll tell you what none of us have seen is that the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts get stopped on 2 quarterback sneaks back-to-back on 3rd and 4th and 1. So give credit to the Green Bay Packers. I mean, they looked like they were out of it as we started this football game, and here they come battling back.
There you see the numbers that we talked about. Best and 0 for 2. Randall Cobb in motion. And Aaron Rodgers throws. It goes through the hands of his longtime teammate and good friend Cobb. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, for Aaron Rodgers in the game 10 days ago, we saw things that we have not seen before, and the Packers haven't seen before, which are passes that aren't spirals. We were watching him in pregame warm-up out here, though, Mike. He was pretty sharp throwing the ball, so I think he's still okay.
Gonna empty it out and go 5 wide. Third and 8, quick throw, Aaron Jones. The blocking on the side will not allow him to get very far. Very well defended by T.J. Edwards, the top tackler on this Eagles team, is having a very good year. Field goal from here is 50 to 51 yards. The wind is affecting kicks going this way, and Matt LaFleur is going to go for it.
You know, the missed extra point makes it a little bit interesting, right? Could be 13 to 10 if you make it, but I like the aggressiveness. Season's on the line. Let's go.
Fletcher Cox lined up on the outside there on the defensive line. 4th and 5. Rodgers dealing in the middle. Flag is down, and the ball is caught by Christian Watson at the 11-yard line. If it stands, the gain is 21. Let's check out the flag, and we have an injured Eagle as well.
I think you
CJ
might get
Gardner-Johnson.
Ouch.
Holding. Defense number 43. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is first down.
Yeah, you're going to see Christian Watson up on that side, and here comes C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And Gardner-Johnson, one of the toughest safeties in the league, and he was just stunned and just sort of stood there for a second like that before he went down.
Watson, with that big collision, able to hold on. The Eagles athletic training staff looking at C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who leads the NFL in interceptions with 6.
And he has just been such an important part of this Eagles secondary. You'll see the hit. Got his head out of there, but you could tell it just stunned him.
So he gets the medical attention. We'll step out for a moment.
One. Back.
And they will get him over to the sideline to a golf cart to bring him in for some x-rays, I would imagine, and further medical examination. What a big hit he was a part of there with Christian Watson. So as he gets checked out, Reed Blankenship, undrafted rookie, comes in. Only 2 snaps of defense this season. A.J. Dillon in the back, 1st and 10, Green Bay. And Rodgers looking up top, fires, touchdown, Randall Cobb. He beat Josiah Scott, and the Packers have tied the game.
Oh, that looked like Aaron Rodgers. This is the play they hit for the touchdown last time, and here comes the trailing receiver in behind. But watch this throw. You can pick out any year of Aaron's career that you want. That's as good as he can do.
Mason Crosby gives Green Bay the lead. Did you think you'd be saying that 6 minutes ago on the clock? With 9:02, it was 13-0 Eagles. And now the Packers are on top, 2 touchdowns in 3.5 minutes against Nick Sirianni's team.
And don't underestimate C.J. Gardner-Johnson going out for this defense. Here's the throw again. You can see, doesn't even step as he throws. It's just that hip whips open, and when he is starting to feel it, it's just different. That was a big decision to go for that 4th down right there, and it paid off in a huge way. You can see those hips completely open, completely facing the target by the time he finishes that throw. And yeah, his guys are back. He has some of his receivers back. He has some young receivers making plays, and everybody's patting everybody. That's a good thing.
Everybody's
if
happy.
you're a Packer and you're patting guys in the chest, that's a good thing.
Randall Cobb and Aaron Rodgers are really close friends. Rodgers wanted Cobb back a couple of years ago. Cobb's been out on injured reserve, comes back, and you just see the trust that he has in Randall Cobb. And Chris, when we talked to Aaron, he pointed to 2016 when the Packers came in here on a Monday night and they won and they ran the table to make the playoffs. And the one thing he said, we had leads, and they did. They scored on the first drive of every one of those games. And here, they've come back, but now they're in the game, still in the first quarter.
I was a little surprised when they deferred to open this game. Just because of what he said, and I agreed with him. This team has been playing from behind so much this season. They haven't had a chance to unleash those pass rushers and do what they do best on the defensive side.
Now the Eagles play from behind, and Miles Sanders run through on defense allows Preston Smith to come up with the stop. And a loss of a yard for Sanders on 1st down.
It's amazing. We were talking a little bit about momentum, right? And what that means, Matt LaFleur was telling us momentum is real, right? It can be negative momentum or it can be positive momentum, but you can see already the carryover of the energy of this defense.
Second and 11. And Hurts throw complete. A.J. Brown, spin and go. The former Tennessee Titan out near midfield. Gain of 23 yards for Brown in his 4th year out of Ole Miss.
One of the problems, if you start sending blitzes, you end up with one-on-one coverage on some really talented wide receivers on the outside. And A.J. Brown, as good as it gets, that run after the catch.
47. Hurts throws right over the ball. It's Sanders to the 49-yard line. A couple injuries in this first quarter. Here's Melissa with an update.
Yes, an update on Packers safety Darnell Savage, who we saw leave the field in the opening series of the game. He went in to get x-rays. Official word from the team, he is questionable to return with a foot injury.
Okay, so Savage, who was out of the starting lineup, hurt on the 3rd play. Here's Sanders running on the inside to the 45-yard line. Chris Barnes made the tackle. And Chris, if we're talking injuries in Green Bay, we have to talk about the front 7 players they're missing. Rashawn Gary and Devondre Campbell, the outstanding linebacker.
And not to mention Eric Stokes, their starting cornerback. So Rashawn Gary is the energy of the Green Bay Packers defense. Relentless effort, nonstop, grit, tough, all that kind of stuff. Devondre Campbell has been the brains of the operation. He knows how to get them organized, knows how to get them set. Now that falls on Quay Walker.
3rd and 2. Fake to Gainwell. Hurts has a lot of space over here. Take it off. Anybody going to catch him? All the way down to the 5-yard line. There were no Green Bay Packers on the near side numbers, and number 1 just took off for a gain of 41. He's got 100 rushing yards in the first quarter.
Mike, here's what you can't do. You can't rush this guy like he's a normal quarterback. You try and fly around the edge, it just leaves too big a gap. We've seen people game after game, time after time. And right now, what we've seen out of the Philadelphia Eagles, there were 2 third downs on that first drive. 3rd and 10, he ran for 24. 3rd and 6, he ran for 28. I have no idea how long he ran on that one.
Timeout here. Nick Sirianni had the play clock running down on him, and he goes to get that quick timeout. We were talking about that Thursday night with Jason Garrett. You have a long play, and all of a sudden the play clock runs against you. Well, no easing into this game.
This has been explosive and exciting.
Yeah.
And there's a lot on the line. You know, the Green Bay Packers have a lot of pride. This is an organization, back-to-back years. They had the MVP. They had the first overall slot in the entire playoffs. And now here they are with everything on the line, and Aaron Rodgers is playing up to it. And so are the rest of them. They just have to figure out a way to tackle Jalen Hurts. They have not figured that out.
And we've been here for 3 days, and everybody said, yeah, things are great. The Packers are down, but Rodgers is coming to town. Aaron Rodgers has beaten these guys. It's a scar on the Philadelphia Eagles, and this organization was very weary. But they've got a quarterback of their own who's had some kind of quarter. He's going to keep it here. Bounce it to the outside. Hurts only gains a yard. Good job to hang in there by the Green Bay defense. Rudy Ford leads the way as the quarter comes to an end. What a quarter. After 1, Packers 14, Eagles 13 in Sunday Night Football. Continues from Philadelphia after these messages. Rushing yards in the opening quarter. Only quarterback with over 100 rushing yards in the quarter in the last 30 years. But the last run, only for a yard, came with a price, Chris.
Enagbare just drilled him right in the ribs. Mouthpiece went flying. You could see number 55, a direct hit on those ribs, and it was a slow walk down the field for Jalen Hurts, because it did.
Quarter begins with 2nd and goal. And Sanders plowing his way forward and into the end zone for another touchdown. fifth touchdown in the first 15 minutes and 6 seconds. And now 2 for Miles Sanders. Can anybody get a stop here tonight? All these points, and the quarterbacks are combined 7 of 12 passing. Like they're doing it in the air. Extra point good here, 20-14.
We talked about this offensive line, and here we go. 2 of the big guys up there. Jordan Mailata, 365 pounds. Landon Dickerson, 335 pounds. And they just took the Green Bay Packers straight into the end zone. Good block on the outside by Jack Stoll as well. That is what has made them the team that they are so far, Mike, is that they can do a little bit of everything. We haven't seen a lot of the passing game yet from Jalen Hurts. But as teams start to pile up on this running game, then he goes to work on the outside. A.J. Brown, what an acquisition that was for the team. Devontae Smith has just been fantastic. And they've really done it without their third threat, which is Dallas Goedert, who's been injured the last couple of games, and it showed. He's got a shoulder injury. Those guys up front, led by Jason Kelce, get the job done on the inside. That touchdown there makes it 20-13. 20-14. The score after 1 was 14-13. That was the highest scoring first quarter in the NFL this season. And we follow that up with a touchdown on the first play of the second quarter. Touchback here, so Rodgers and the offense will take over at the 25-yard line. So we remember Aaron Rodgers as the Jeopardy host. Well, if we take the Jeopardy format to the numbers, not pretty for this team. Points, yards, pass yards per game, all career worst for Aaron through 11 games. Most starts of that 300-yard game, we welcome Mariota and Fields. And Aaron Rodgers, rare contestant here with 11. Matter of fact, 15 straight regular season games under 300 passing yards, longest streak of his career. But he's the only one of anyone in this building who can actually host Jeopardy and do a good job with it, too. And answer most of the questions as well. From the 25, A.J. Dillon's the back. He'll run to the left. It's about 4 yards. You know, it's got to be so weird for Aaron Rodgers, right? I mean, his entire life, his entire career, to win a football game, he had to do it, right? He just had to do it. He knew it. Everybody knew it. The coaches knew it. Players knew it. Everybody knew it. With this football team, I'm not so sure. You know, that we saw what really jump-started this comeback was Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, and then you get to a little bit of the play action. I don't think you'll see the Packers come off of that plan.
Second and 6, toss, Dillon. Good run by the third year back out of Boston College across the 40 to the 41. Melissa with an update on the injuries on the Eagles.
Yes, we saw their safety, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, moments ago needed to be helped off the field. You could feel the collective gasp in this stadium. He couldn't stand up straight. He was clearly in pain, taken off in a cart, as you see there. Went into the x-ray room. He is officially questionable with ribs.
It's a tough blow, as we said, Melissa, leading the NFL in interceptions this year with 6. He likes to talk, likes to hit. He has really given a personality to this Philadelphia defense. Rodgers straight drop for the 41. The middle is open, and Robert Tonyan into Eagles territory. He'll be down at the 42. That is a gain of 17 for the fifth-year tight end.
So what happens when you get the running game going? They go to this 5-man line, and now you have 1 fewer people in the middle of that defense, and there it is. So that's the formula, right? You have the ability to run, and the minute they react to it, Aaron Rodgers knows it. He makes a little call, and right where you're vulnerable.
And a sweet-looking throw. .42, back to Dillon again. He's taking a good chunk of this series. He goes to the 36 and a pickup of 6. Chris had mentioned his carries down from the first 4 games of the season as we've gone through the last 7.
Yeah, and I tell you, the left side of this offensive line has really made a difference. You saw both guys pulling over on this side, David Bakhtiari, Elton Jenkins. They made the move to put Jenkins back at that left guard position. They wanted to secure something. That is the strength of this offensive line for the Packers.
Seen Green Bay do a lot this. Both of the halfbacks in. It's a swing to Dillon. Tunyon blocking on the edge. First down for Dillon at the 29-yard line. Reed Blankenship in for the injured Gardner Johnson, one of the two Philly players on the tackle.
How many 250-pound backs have you ever seen catch the football that easily?
Not many.
No, not many. And you know, the other thing that they really wanted to do, they wanted to come out and force the two cornerbacks for the Eagles, Darius Slay, James Bradbury, force those guys to make tackles in space. And it's like body blows in boxing. Eventually, it takes a toll.
Watson left at the top, alone. Rodgers gonna go to the middle of the field. Look out, it's intercepted. Read by Blankenship. You've sunk my Blankenship. Interception for the rookie. Lurking in the middle of the field. Only 2 snaps on defense all year. Only playing because Gardner Johnson, the league leader in picks, is out. And Blankenship has his first, and it's of a future Hall of Famer. At you in Philadelphia. Back to Rodgers' 9th pick of the year.
Can you believe it? The rookie free agent, Reed Blankenship's going to fool him. Watch him go backwards and then hit the Jets forward. Rodgers is going to see Blankenship back up and think it's a 3 deep and he's going to be able to hit this crossing route. Instead, Blankenship hits the Jets and beats the receiver to that point. That is a brilliant play by a rookie safety.
And what a moment for him. Called on for injury. He was prepared. Hurts. Long pass caught by Devontae Smith at the 40-yard line. Good long throw by Hurts for a gain of 17.
That Devontae Smith, he is such a good route runner. But look at Blankenship on the sideline. Can you imagine a college free agent coming out? And yeah, what did you do when you got your chance? I just picked off Aaron Rodgers. I tricked him on that play.
When we get a moment, I'll tell you something about Blankenship from the 39. Give inside. Miles Sanders with the run to the 44-yard line. That yellow piece of paper needs to be picked up so I don't say flag 30 times. Thank you. So Blankenship's defensive coordinator at Middle Tennessee was Scott Schaefer. Used to be the head coach at Syracuse. I've known Scott for a while. Always great defenses, always disguises with the safeties. Blankenship started for 5 years at Middle Tennessee. So he's got a ton of experience. Undrafted, moment comes, guy's ready to do it.
Well, of course then he did
it. We knew it all the way. At the 44-yard line. Here's Hurts, design run, adding to that big total tonight. Pulled down at the 38-yard line. We do have an actual flag thrown on the field. This is where the hole opened up for Hurts.
I tell you, the defensive back went down and cut one of the pulling offensive linemen.
Personal foul. Defense, illegal low block.
Okay.
15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. Fouls on number 31. First down.
This was something added to the rules.
Yeah, which no defensive back likes at all. But look at the great athleticism of Lane Johnson in space. He was tracking Adrian Amos. And Lane Johnson, I can't say enough good things about him. There aren't many offensive linemen would have made any contact at all. But Lane Johnson has not given up a sack in 2 years. It is unbelievable what he has done starting at that right tackle position for the Eagles here the last couple of years.
So good across the front. So added on to the run. Huge gain, takes it to the 24. Enoch Bari chasing Hurts, will just duck out of bounds at the 23. Gain of a yard. So that run adds, so it's 9 carries, 121 yards for him tonight.
All right, here is an RPR. Run, pass, run. He could hand it off here, he could pass it down there, or he can keep it and run it himself. All of it off the read right there. And there he goes. The idea is to get it quickly to the tight end in the flat. Kind of looks like a bootleg. It is not. And instead, Jalen Hurts did what he's done so well tonight, take off and run.
He's making a lot of Shane Steichen's play calls look pretty awesome tonight. 2nd and 8. Heading to the edge again. He'll just fire it to the sideline and incomplete. And that will bring up 3rd down. We have a flag down at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, well, here's part of the problem with those run pass options, RPRs, is that sometimes those offensive linemen don't know you're scrambling, and they can sneak a yard or too far down the field.
Eligible man downfield, offense number 56. That penalties decline. So the play is 3rd down.
Yeah, Isaac Seumalo down there, just a little too far.
Yep. Line of scrimmage in the red, give you a yard. He had 2+. So Hurts, by the way, has run for 122 yards. The long-time record is 178 yards. Justin Fields did it for the Bears 3 weeks ago for the record for a quarterback for rushing yards in a game. 178, Hurts already has 122.
Can't let Hurts run this one.
3rd and 8, they're bringing heat. He got rid of it quick. A.J. Brown. Ball out. Picked up by Quay Walker. Is going to go. Walker's going to try to pick up bucks from Jair Alexander. Cuts back to the inside at the 30. Cuts back to the outside. Terrific run here by Walker, who will end the journey at the 13. Terrific return. Another big turnover. And Green Bay has it in great field position. Rudy Ford over there on the play. Sorry, Chris.
Watch the effort by the rookie Quay Walker. Coming out of that national championship team, he's on the blitz. It doesn't happen. He sees the throw outside. Here we go. Let me hustle. Let me sprint over here. And thank you very much. But I want to tell you, Jalen Hurts made one of the plays of the night. Jair Alexander is out in front. And all Hurts did was he forced Quay Walker to cut that thing back and give him a chance. But what a play coming up for the Green Bay Packers defense.
And you talked about the very open, the physical nature to the game. And Rudy Ford, the new guy in at safety, forced that fumble. And there's what you talked about with Hurts. Keeping it from a touchdown, just limiting it to a 6-3-yard fumble return. So for the 2nd time tonight, the Packers take over in Eagles territory. And it's a toss to Aaron Jones. Got a block from DeGuara. Got a touchdown. But there's a flag down. And it's a hold on Green Bay.
Holding. Offense number 74. 2-yard penalty. We play 1st down.
That's the left guard, Elton Jenkins.
He's got a really tough block. Let's take a look. You've got to reach all the way around here to try and make that block. I mean, for me, I can't see it, but I'm sure you can see the grab of the jersey and the pads underneath.
It's got to be the grab they called. He powered him to the ground.
Good eyesight.
He did overpower him, that is for sure. So it's 1st and 17. Flag coming back to the spot of the infraction. Rodgers gets rid of it quick, and Tunyon has nowhere to go. James Bradbury, the corner, was sitting on that side and snuffs that one out, and Green Bay going the wrong way.
I'll tell you, that was a huge play by Bradbury. There wasn't anybody left on that half of the field over there. If he doesn't wind his way through and make that tackle, the Packers had 4 offensive linemen in front of them. It was going to be a touchdown. Matt LaFleur knew it.
Get a 1st down at the 3. Rodgers climbs, escapes, fires to the end zone. Touchdown, Aaron Jones. What a play. And the Pack jump back to 2020.
What a crazy game we got going here tonight. This is just awesome. You're going to see Aaron Jones come down here, adjust, make another adjustment right in the middle of the field as Aaron Rodgers keeps the play alive. And It is a rare running back, a rare running back that understands scramble drill adjustments that far down the field, and he gave his quarterback an opportunity. That was fantastic.
Look out, that's no good. That snap was turned late by O'Donnell. Crosby pushed it to the right. We've had 2 missed extra points, and we are tied. The fumble forced by Ford, returned by Walker. The touchdown thrown by Rodgers, caught by Jones.
What is happening?
Everything. Only on Peacock. Holiday season is here. I'm sure a bunch of you enjoyed time with the family and enjoy the shopping. Great month of the year and so much good football ahead as well. Boston Scott. Good return across the 25 to the 29-yard line.
All right, let's take a look at the Walmart Plus 4K Sky Cam and Lane Johnson. Why not? He's been fantastic so far out here. This guy played quarterback in high school and in college, and then he made the move. He became a tight end, and then he became a defensive lineman. Then he finally figured out, I think I'll be an all-pro right tackle, and he has had a lot to do with the Philadelphia Eagles' success, not just tonight, but all season long.
Drive 6 for the Eagles. They've scored 3 touchdowns tonight. First down throw, Miles Sanders hemmed in. Chris Barnes, Quay Walker. The linebackers tackle him at the 34. It's pickup of 6.
You know, I give some credit to Joe Barry here. He got run over a little bit with Jalen Hurts, but now they're going back to this single safety look, which is going to open up the passing game. Now you're going to begin to see A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and some of these backs coming out and making plays in the passing game. They couldn't stop the run with a traditional look, so they had to switch to that and basically dare the Philadelphia Eagles to start throwing the ball.
Second and 3 for Hurts. Pocket collapsing, being chased by Justin Hollins, who gets him. Packer fans know their Packers really well. They barely know Justin Hollins. He showed up on Thanksgiving. 3 days of Packer. He's made a couple of good plays in the half.
I mean, you can run down a quarterback that runs 4 or 5 something. That is welcome to Green Bay time right there. That was a big play because we've seen what Jalen Hurts can do in space. But the change in philosophy defensively has put them in a 3rd and 8 situation, and that's all you can ask for if you're Joe Barry. You just need a play. Now they're all up. Whether it's pressure or fake and drop out, we'll see.
3rd and 8, pressure on again. Hurts being chased. He will just bench it, get rid of it, and a check mark for the Packers defense with a very good drive for them to force the first punt of the night.
Right, and Mike, is you fill up those potential rush lanes, right? They're going to come in all these different rush lanes, and so now if Jalen Hurts has to escape, he has to go out and around the pack. No problem there.
Aaron Sipos with the kick. Line driver. It's going to be long, too, so Keyshawn Nixon just let it go out of bounds. 52 yards. And the Packers will take over at the 18. 5:48 to go for the city of brotherly love. We look at beautiful City Hall, all set for the holidays here in Philly.
Have to be able to put pressure on Aaron Rodgers or you lose. Watch him work his way through all 3 of these progressions. 1, 2, 3. Why did he have time to complete that pass for the touchdown? The protection was perfect. It was perfect. And with Aaron Rodgers, bad thumb, no thumb, whatever, you give him that kind of time, you're going to pay the price.
He has a thumb.
Yeah, he does.
He does
start an internet rumor here. I can do that, you know.
Have you done that before?
Yeah, I've done that a couple times.
Melissa mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Aaron admitting that the thumb has been broken. Back week 5 game against the Giants in London. Good run here on first down. A.J. Dillon returning to the run game and effective. 9 on that one.
I tell you, they're getting some good blocking on their offensive line as well. Josh Nyman that time with a good play, but so far that has been a bit of the star of the game for me right there is Aaron Jones. He's gotten it going with the running game, but he's been such a big part of the pass game, and he seems to be the one that has settled Aaron Rodgers down the most with some of those easy completions.
Both backs in, same motion we saw before. This time they hand it off, and it's a first down to Jones to the 33. What a nice package of plays that Green Bay's been creative with over the last 6 or 7 weeks.
You got it. This two-back set has really been something special, and you will see probably, I don't know, they probably have 15 of them now. I think they started out with 2 or 3. They even have like read options now for Aaron Rodgers if he wants to run the ball. But you could tell they had 3 receivers out to the left-hand side. He chose to hand it off, but you're going to see a lot out of that grouping.
Lazard in motion. Rodgers in trouble. Got away from one, but not the second one. Josh Sweat with the big hit to close it down. And a sack back to the 30-yard line, loss of 3.
Well, it was Ndamukong Suh, his old nemesis from back in Detroit days. We've seen a lot of highlights of that. Watch Suh get the initial pressure, and then it's Josh Sweat from the other side who's going to clean it up. But Ndamukong Suh now just with this team a couple of weeks, and he has already made his presence felt, along with Linval Joseph, who came in at the same time.
Yeah, this game's been going so fast, not even a chance to talk about the impact guys that the Eagles have added up front. 2nd and 13, Rodgers gets it out quick. It's complete to the 37-yard line, and the catch by Cobb will be good enough to get the Packers in a manageable 3rd and 5.
I can't help but laugh. I've seen Ndamukong Suh so many times take one extra step and hit Aaron Rodgers. This time he was like, okay, all right.
I think that was hello, friend?
Probably was.
Yeah. Nance won't mind that I borrowed that for just a line there. 3rd and 5. Rodgers reading the movement of the Eagles. He's going to get sacked by Fletcher Cox. So this deep and talented and experienced Eagles front heard from on that drive.
And there we go. You're going to see crash down inside, and because Fletcher Cox is so athletic, he can get around the edge. He has the speed to track down Aaron Rodgers in a huge play for the Eagles.
So Pat O'Donnell's first punt of the night. Britton Covey, the rookie, back deep to receive. Wobbling kick. Covey comes up and fair catches it just shy of the 30-yard line. The punt was 37, and we're back in 30 after this from AWS.
AWS is helping the NFL transform player health and safety. AI analyzes millions of data points, powering unlimited simulations to continuously improve equipment and training, and help predict potential injuries faster than any human. Because when it comes to player safety, nothing matters more.
Tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by Geico. Runs back home after visiting family on the holidays. The road leads to Philadelphia right now if you want to go to the Super Bowl in the NFC. Eagles are the #1 seed, a game better than the Vikings, who we saw on Thanksgiving night in Minneapolis. And of course, the Eagles have the head-to-head. They beat Minnesota early in the season here on a Monday night. From the 39, Hurts back to work. This pass complete, long way to go. Quez Watkins finally out of bounds, so he turns it could have been a negative into a positive at the 33-yard line. Pick up a 4 as we get to the 2-minute warning. Packers going to get it to start the second half, so the Eagles try to take the lead to the locker room. All even at 20 in a wild one.
And coming up on Let's Go to halftime.
49ers pitch a shutout. The Bengals stuff King Henry.
All right, we'll see you at the half. Mike, back to you.
All right, Maria, thank you. Tennessee plays Philadelphia next week. Eagles are going to induct Hugh Douglas and Trent Cole into their Hall of Fame. So the Hall of Famers, including Brian Dawkins, my old partner Ron Jaworski, among others, here on hand tonight to help usher in 2 new members of the Eagles Hall of Fame. Love when teams celebrate their past. From the 33, it is the present. Hurts. A.J. Brown can't hang on with coverage from the top corner for the Packers, Jair Alexander.
Well, that's going to be the matchup, it looks like, and they're not going to trail anybody. Aaron Rodgers over there trying to figure out what comes next. But a lot of times there's a temptation to try and take your best guy and Jair Alexander and cover somebody, A.J. Brown, right, Devontae Smith. But they don't do that because of all the complexities of the offense now. The Packers just don't feel like that's right for them.
3rd and 6. Packers trying to get the ball back before the half. 4-man rush. Hurts in the middle. It's caught by Brown. Gets the zone just over midfield with a first down. Timeouts remaining for the Eagles. Used one after the long Jalen Hurts run in the first quarter.
Look at Jalen running that offense.
Yep.
Second year in this system, he's got it.
From the 48, got up to this Gainwell catch. Out of bounds for Kenneth at the 41, gain of 7. Chris Barnes the tackle.
It was amazing when Jalen was telling us that this is the first time he's had the same coordinator in back-to-back years since his dad coached him in high school.
Going back to changes at Alabama when he was there, and then goes to Oklahoma. New system there. So 2nd and 3. Again, missing Dallas Goedert. Jack Stoll's the tight end. Hurts in trouble and going to be brought down. Good interior rush by Jaron Reed. Just held on and let Preston Smith join the party. Timeout Eagle. Timeout Packers. Excuse me. Packers take the timeout.
I tell you, it's a great effort play by Jaron Reed right here. He's just going to keep fighting. And he just barely got to the bear here on this one, but he got just enough for Smith to come and clean that thing up. It is not easy to get Jalen Hurts on the ground. Just lassoed him. Jaron Reed had a couple of big years with Seattle, right?
Yes, he did.
That one season out there where he had over 10 sacks, 10.5 sacks, and becoming a factor. That is 2nd on this season.
Hopped over for Kansas City for a little bit. First year here with the Packers. Adds to that total and adds to the 3rd down challenge. 3rd and 14 now after you get to the 38 for the first down. Gainwell remains the back to bring in 5 this time. This pass is caught by Devontae Smith, who's going to be a yard short. Walker and Alexander on the tackle. Sirianni loves to go for it on 4th and short. 55 seconds left. They're not going to let them substitute. And we have 2 Packers who are down with injury.
Devontae Smith, when you get one-on-one, I don't care who it is, even Jair Alexander, they are going to throw him the ball. He's a magical route runner and run after the catch guy. I don't know if we have shots of those injuries on the back end. That ball is even tipped a bit. But no question, the 4th down injury played to the benefit of the Green Bay Packers.
With Isaiah McDuffie and Alexander going down. And there's the guy who is usually in the middle of it all for Green Bay, Devondre Campbell. His knee injury keeping him out for the 4th game. Hurt that knee at Buffalo.
But what it gives them the opportunity to do now is to get their big guys on the field. Everybody knows what's coming. Despite the fact that they missed 2 quarterback sneaks, this is a quarterback sneak. You can just go ahead and write it down unless they want to do some option off of it. But they are so dynamic doing it when they get the snap.
And their big people were off the field for the most part because that was 3rd and long.
You think?
Yeah. Now, they could have just taken a timeout. They felt better about themselves, but they're charged a timeout because of the injury to the players. 4th and short.
Watch the Eagles submarine these defensive linemen.
And Hurts pushing through. Got to stop him at some point here as they try to pull the ball. He's got a 1st down at the 35-yard line. And the clock runs with 41 seconds left. So he's going to jump right to it. Philadelphia still has 2 timeouts. And down to 30 seconds left. Hurts flushed, going to try to run on that right side, get out of bounds at the 35. A flag is down in the secondary, though. Zach Pascal was trying to get free.
Looked like illegal contact down the field, Mike, which is going to help this field goal at least.
Holding. Defense number 29. 5-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
Former Eagle Rasul Douglas.
It's actually not a bad play. Devontae Smith with a double move, and he was going to be wide open. That had to be a tough call for the officials there.
Stop. 3rd penalty charged to the Packers tonight. None to the Eagles so far. So Philadelphia still 2 timeouts. 24 seconds left. 5 out there for Hurts. Thrown sideline, well covered and incomplete. A.J. Brown with Jair Alexander. That matchup Chris talked about, having the inside position.
That was a pretty good play that time by A.J. Brown. I thought he sort of got into Alexander to make sure that interception didn't happen. Little double move. You see that a lot this point in the game. Stop and go. Alexander not fooled, but you could see Brown kind of knocked Alexander off that ball.
I think Alexander likes that man coverage over here on Brown.
I'm sure he does.
He brought that up earlier in the year. He wanted more of that. 2nd and 10. Hurts going to try the other side this time. Coming back to get it for the touchdown. Wes Watkins.
What a play. What a throw, what a catch, what a route, what a drive. That was something.
Sirianni makes me laugh. He's as into it as his players are. No hiding his emotions. So instead of the field goal to go up 3, it's Jake Elliott's extra point to try to make it 7. No problem with that one. All right, show and tell time.
I don't know what they're going to call it, but you have to have a route that lands right at the pylon, right? So everybody has a landmark. Here you go with Watkins on the outside. All you do is get there, and Jalen Hurts has a nice angle. He knows exactly where it's going to go. Watkins knows exactly when to turn around, and it was done perfectly. I don't know how many times they practiced that, but that was his old guy, right? The guy he practiced with, coming out in the draft and the whole thing, and you could see a bit of the magic.
Well, let's see, you got more on this?
Yeah, Mike, I talked to Quez this week, and he said he understood that his role had to change with the addition of A.J. Brown. He said, I have to stay ready, stay patient and be humble. And now that Dallas Goedert is out, Watkins said he is ready to carry more weight. He told me, I am the spark plug when we need one. And he just was there.
Quez Watkins delivering in that role. Quez's hometown is Athens, Alabama. So is Reed Blankenship, who had the pick in the first half for the Eagles. And so is Phillip Rivers, great quarterback. Nick Sirianni got to know in Indianapolis. As a matter of fact, when Sirianni was there, Rivers has a good friendship with Doc Rivers, the head coach of the Sixers now, right? So Doc comes in and he told them about roles. Know your roles. You've got to understand and embrace. So Nick Sirianni does an interesting thing, Chris. He gathers the players together and tells them their roles in front of each other.
Yeah, and he said, yeah, Doc has, what, 12 players? He's like, I have 53 I had to go through. But it really does lessen the load on the coaching staff because everybody now understands this is what we need out of you. If it changes or you want to talk to me, come see me.
And like Melissa told you, Quez's role delivered there with a touchdown. What a half a ball. 27-20, as high scoring as thought the whole game might be. Packers get the ball to start the second half. And it's Toyota halftime time with Maria, Tony, and Jason. Maria.
All right, thanks, Mike. Well, we saw the Eagles put on one touchdown back up on the board and taking advantage of some mistakes that Green Bay has made so far, Jason.
No doubt. Philly gets off to a good start. I love Green Bay's response. But then the reason Philly's got the best record in ball is they can beat you so many different ways. We saw that on the last drive.
Yeah, we gave you the plan to stop them, but you still had to stop Superman, right? And Superman looks pretty good tonight.
Jalen Hurts, 126 rushing yards and 128 passing yards. This week, though, the Jets bench Zach Wilson for Mike White. And today, White went off against the Bears, threw for 3 TDs and a huge win. And we'll have the highlights, plus a look at the AFC playoff picture. That's coming up next on the Toyota Halftime.
Want more stats? Just ask Siri. Who leads the league in passing touchdowns?
7-20 Philadelphia. It's the second game this season. Each team's been over 20 in the first half. The other one was a few hours ago. Vegas, Seattle on the way to the Raiders' overtime win. Aaron Rodgers, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks in the half. Second time that's happened in his long career. And over a century of the National Football League, first player in league history with over 125 passing and rushing in the half. A record-setting performance from Jalen Hurts in the first 30 minutes. He ran for 126, threw for 128. Fans settle back in here at Lincoln Financial Field on this unseasonably mild night. It's 57 degrees here now on the final Sunday of November. And a huge second half for the Packers. The Eagles trying to stay ahead in the division and the race for the #1 seed, but Green Bay trying to climb back in it. From 5 deep, Keyshawn Nixon going to bring it out. Hit it with speed on the right side, and Nixon, good return, still going. Over 50 on the return. He brings it to the 48. Here's Melissa earlier with the Packers head coach.
Matt, you told us that all you wanted to see from your team was that they play hard and compete. What do you make of that first half?
Well, it's not that we're not playing hard. I think the guys are playing hard, but certainly got to do more defensively. And then offensively, we've had 2 turnovers. I think we're running the ball pretty effectively, but ultimately we got to play better complementary football.
I saw you talking for a long time to your wide receivers. What was your message to them?
Well, just keep battling. We were going over some adjustments in terms of blocking, run blocking. I think they're doing a great job, getting great effort there, and we got to continue to do that.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, Melissa, thank you. First down run for Aaron Jones is 2 yards. Back to that kickoff return, 52 yards by Keyshawn Nixon. That's the longest kick return for the Packers this year. A good add of Nixon, a boost to the special teams.
Yeah, we all know about the Green Bay Packers and their special team woes from a season ago, and they've had kicks blocked in about every single way possible this season. But I thought, you know, the bold plays of the Green Bay Packers, going for it on 4th down, returning kicks out of the end zone, they're going for it. And I think that they have really competed so far in this game.
They're standing snap for snap with the team that's been the best in the NFC so far. Aaron Jones trying to turn the corner, and Reed Blankenship continues to make the most of his opportunity in for the injured C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
This young man is making plays. Watch him come down and circle back out of here to be able to make this thing. I mean, he was all the way inside and just tracked it down perfectly from an inside-out position. And Aaron Jones is no joke trying to tackle him.
Undrafted, special teams almost exclusively his first 4 games. Thrust into the spotlight tonight. 3rd and 7. The Eagles bring 5. Rodgers in trouble and sacked. Hassan Reddick, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox. Some of the big names up front all get the big name from the Packers on the ground.
Man, give them credit, because I tell you what, Aaron Rodgers saw the 2-man coverage on the outside, and he was going to try and run it, which is exactly what he should have done. With that man coverage out there, he just could not weave his way through the traffic. Hassan Reddick with a big-time play.
So good field position, nothing they can do with it. Pat O'Donnell will try to pin Philadelphia deep. That ball will die right at the 14-yard line. So a 43-yard punt with no return. Reed Blankenship. Big night tonight. Has not been a good start. Some cracks in the ice of this Packer defense. These are the numbers coming into tonight. Touchdown passes allowed. Good to start early, but 12 in the last 5 games. Added 1 to that total here tonight. 5 straight games allowing multiple touchdown passes, tying a Packers' longest single season streak. And this one, the rushing yards, 150 plus in 6 games, tied for the most in the league, and they'll continue to hold that dubious title. They gave up 183 on the ground, 295 total. That's the most in 4 years for a Green Bay defense. So it's been tough, and it's getting tougher. They're missing a couple of their best players on defense as well. Hurts, first down pass, incomplete. It was close there as Jalen tried to squeeze it in. Rasul Douglas on the coverage.
You have to be careful when you're looking over there towards Rasul Douglas, because I promise you, he's looking back at you. Nobody stares at the quarterback more than Rasul Douglas. And that time he almost came up with a big one.
Changes to the starting lineup. If you weren't with us at the beginning, Darnell Savage did not start. Came in on the 3rd play and got hurt. He is out for the remainder of the game. So too is C.J. Gardner-Johnson, safety on the other side for Philadelphia. The run here with Miles Sanders. Good job to turn it upfield. And Sanders with a big run to the 35-yard line. Gain of 20 for Sanders.
I think one of the best players in the National Football League right there. Jason Kelsey, he and Seumalo are going to pull out in front. But literally, Kelsey is one of those guys, and that's exactly what you want your center to do, to take his shot. Don't slow down. Don't pitter-patter your feet. You take a shot, let the back cut off of you, and it was perfectly done.
Over 200 rushing yards. His offensive line continues to pave the way. 8 more for Sanders before Quay Walker brings him down.
And it's the great thing that they can do. I mean, we saw the way that half ended, right, with Jalen Hurts. And boom, boom, boom. They go down, hit the big pass, and do all that. And so what do? As soon as they get you believing they're going to start throwing the ball a little bit, just going to start running the ball. And, you know, good game with the running backs, good game with the quarterbacks, and a good game with throwing the football. A lot to defend.
It's a good game. And that's Sanders through the secondary. Sanders to the 29-yard line. Big chunks of yards, 28 on that carry. That's 2 20-plus yard runs in this drive.
Lane Johnson's going to pull around, but watch how Sanders sets it up in here before he bounces it back to the outside. That's what really made the play there. And then the backside blocks. These guys are so efficient with their run blocking.
And here he goes again. 21, Jair Alexander. It's a forearm out to knock him down. It's a terrific running quarterback that creates more running opportunities. It's also a great offensive line of ability and personalities as well. And that's the guy who orchestrates it, Jeff Stoutland, the O-line coach.
Jason Kelsey was saying that he's begging to let somebody videotape and record one of their meetings, that nobody would believe it.
Sanders out, Boston Scott in, Jalen Hurts to the edge. And a first down, big hit at the 17-yard line on Hurts. Adrian Amos, the veteran, brings him down, but the Eagles are back in the red zone.
Yeah, there are so few offensive lines that can do both. Most of them are either good power blockers or good zone blockers or good pass protectors. This offensive line can do everything. It is a really, really solid bunch.
From the 17, Hurts reads it, flushed, throws it out to Grant Calcaterra. The tight end's going to be a loss of 2 yards as Keyshawn Nixon brings him down.
I think any defensive coordinator would take Jalen Hurts going backwards or to the right at any time. And so you can play that, right? I mean, Joe Barry knows that. So you fill up those rush lanes and don't let your edges go crazy and flying around the field and let him step up and through. That's where they've been had a couple of times in this one.
2 top receivers to the left, top of the screen. Smith and Brown looking that way, throwing that way. Contested for Smith. Came down hard, incomplete. Let's see if Smith's okay. Good to see him get up. Jair Alexander covering.
This is great on great here. You've got Alexander going against the Heisman winner, Devontae Smith, and they're just playing ball. They are going at it right there.
Alexander a couple of years ago, second team All-Pro. Injured a good part of last year, but got the big deal. 4 years, $84 million. Highest paid DB. Sets up 3rd and 12. Hurts pressured, throws it. It's caught by Smith this time to the 5-yard line for the first down. Over Barnes in front of Alexander, 1st and goal.
I don't know what happened to Jair Alexander on that one. He was sitting back there. I thought he was going to come up and make a hit just as that ball was being caught, and he kind of just waited, and then they picked up the first downs. See, I think he thought he was going to get an interception.
From the 5, Hurts on the give. It's Gainwell to the edge, to the 1. Quay Walker saves the touchdown.
But if Alexander had come up and just made that hit, it wouldn't have been a first down. Just got fooled. He saw that thing coming and thought he had an easy interception.
1.5 yards to get, and we have a timeout taken. Yes, we have a timeout. One of the Packers took a knee, and again the fans getting on Green Bay. It's Chris Barnes who's being looked at.
Let's go back to that Alexander play, and you're going to see as this ball was lofted up, I think he thought it was coming to him. He's looking back at the quarterback. Look at him. He even puts his hands out like he's going to be able to catch it. But because of that, he doesn't come up and make the hit that would have been short of the first down. Yeah, it happens. You know, you just misjudge it, and Smith got there faster than he thought he was going to.
So Green Bay got back in this game. Remember, they fell down 13-0, and they not only got back in it, but jumped to the lead, almost to the lead. They missed the extra point when they tied the game at 20. But then the Eagles score at the end of the half. The Packers get it back and don't score. And now Philadelphia has a chance to take a 2-touchdown lead again.
And we haven't seen the Green Bay Packers defensive line make this kind of stop short of the fumble and what happened with that one. So this is really where the Eagles just think that they are bigger and stronger and tougher probably than Green Bay at this point right now.
This is 2nd and goal. It's going to get longer.
False start. Offense number 69. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That time for that first penalty against the Eagles tonight.
Just a little lean. It doesn't take much, but it's the right call. Leaned up on his toes and they caught it. So it gives Green Bay an opportunity here, and they really need this stand. They need to make a play right here.
Penalty on Landon Dickerson sets up 2nd down. You see I believe a couple of members of the athletic training staff talking to Aaron Rodgers and looking at his rib area from what we hear on the sideline. Second and goal here. Hurts throwing. End zone touchdown. A.J. Brown gets the feet down. Hurts' second touchdown pass of the game. And a 2-score lead.
Put Rasul Douglas in a really tough spot, one-on-one with just a fantastic football player. And Mike, I just have to say, I thought the deal for A.J. Brown was among the biggest deals of this entire year. You have to talk about Tyreek Hill as well, Devontae Adams, there were some other ones, but A.J. Brown just fit this team perfectly with the play-action passes and the slants off their great running game.
Leads him in touchdown receptions. That's his 7th. The 5th of the night for the Eagles, who lead by 14. Everyone's favorite cat is back. DreamWorks Animation's Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, arrives in theaters Christmas weekend on December 21st. Love the air, holiday season in the air. And the noise from the link as well. About 70,000. What a fall it's been in Philadelphia with the Phillies run, the Eagles playing great. This is a short kick. You have to come up and get it. On the bounce, Keyshawn Nixon takes it, slices through, gets just across the 25-yard line for the Packers, down 2 touchdowns for the second time tonight. So here's Rodgers. We'll watch him closely. The athletic training staff was over talking to Aaron. Remember, on 3rd down of the last drive, Chris, he took this sack.
Yeah, we looked at this a million different ways. Unless he got hit on the thumb right there with that helmet. And that could have been.
Rodgers been sacked 3 times tonight. A.J. Dillon is the running back. Halfway through this 3rd quarter. And Rodgers pulls it and throws it. And there goes Christian Watson for a gain of 11.
Yes, that was a good call right there. Christian Watson's head snapped to the ground from the hit.
Rodgers is still...
Something's going on with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know
if that... At the end of the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 32. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
The penalties on Reed Blankenship. So we continue to watch Rodgers walk slowly up the field.
Helmet to helmet right there. And the big story right now, I think, is Aaron Rodgers. And I think he probably got hit on that thumb on the other drive. And he just threw that first pass, and it did not feel comfortable at all.
From the 49, Rodgers with the handoff to the right side. 1 yard there for Dillon. Here's Melissa.
Mike, you mentioned before this drive, Aaron Rodgers was surrounded by the medical staff. He had a conversation with the doctor and the head athletic trainer. They were poking and prodding at his ribs, the front side, the back side. You could see him grimacing in pain. And then he walked over and put his helmet on and is clearly back in, but we're monitoring the situation.
You know, you can see this is after the last play. Rodgers has been playing through pain a lot here. We've seen him throughout his career play through pain, but now 2 things, the thumb and the ribs. Inside give, Dillon. A knife for running the football to the 33-yard line.
Like one of those things in case of emergency, break the glass. So now just hand it off, but when you have to have them, you know, Aaron's going to suck it up. You know what he's going to do. This is their season's on the line, and he's trying to gut it out, but believe me, those rib injuries, they don't get better.
Right.
They only get worse.
We've talked about that multiple times over the last few weeks. Justin Herbert took him 8 to 10 weeks to heal from his fractured rib cartilage. Flag comes down on the run to the right by Dillon. Rodgers is pointing that it's against the Eagles. It came from way back in the secondary.
Holding. Defense number 72. 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run, automatic, first down.
It's on Linval Joseph. Another one of those veteran additions in season for Howie Roseman, the GM.
And what veterans do is they know on these tosses and outside zones, if you can keep that lineman off your linebacker, it gives Kaiser White a chance to go make the play.
Howie Roseman, the executive VP, general manager for the Eagles, 23rd year. He's worked his way up in the organization and really has been active during the season. A lot of key moves that have his Eagles team at 9-1. Jones, the spinning carry. Blankenship hits him in the secondary. It's a gain of 7. And we'll go back to Melissa.
Mike and Dominican Sue told me that he had just moved to Florida a few months ago, was semi-retiring, enjoying family time with his kids, and he had already won a Super Bowl, of course, with the Buccaneers in 2020. So what brought him back? He said, I have all the individual accolades and the ring, but his goal is to get another ring so that his twin boys, Kingston and Kari, who turned 20 months old yesterday, don't have to share one.
Well, a career it has been for Sue. Got that ring with Buccaneers, 3-time and All-Pro, drafted number 2 overall by the Lions a dozen years ago. Swing it out to Dillon on the edge. A.J. Dillon, so hard to bring down to the 13-yard line with Edwards and Blankenship there on the stop.
Aaron Rodgers is dying right now. Every time he makes a throw, I mean, he just looks like he can barely walk back to the huddle. And these throws, even without the laces, are perfectly thrown, so you know he's going to stay in and give this thing a go for as long as he can.
They're moving the ball back in the red zone. 3:49 left in the third. Rodgers to Dillon. Couldn't reach it. Ruled a forward pass and an incomplete pass. So second down.
So now what they're doing defensively, I think that everybody on the Eagles sideline can see this too. So now single safety, let's bring 5 up on that defensive line and say, all right, Aaron Rodgers, ribs and all, let's see how many throws in a row you can make.
Second and 10, a toss. DeGuara out to block for Aaron Jones, who got popped forward for another 6 yards. Hassan Reddick came to hit him, and the momentum and leverage took him inside the 10.
Watch Hassan Reddick here. He's going to get cracked out on the edge, block, and still circle back and go make this play. And it was an important play. He hustles all the way back to make that one.
Talk about the great athletic ability of these guys. The balance of Aaron Jones. Keep those feet going, twist and turn. 3rd and 4 here.
Has to be 4-down territory.
Inside give. Jones gets 1 of the 4. And we've got 4th down, about 2.5 coming up. Matt LaFleur doesn't even look for where Mason Crosby is. Just biting on the play sheet and sending one in.
Yep, and here comes Randall Cobb into the game. So he's got his veteran players in there, but at least lately it's been Christian Watson. 5 touchdowns in the last couple of games. He's flanked wide to the left side.
They're trying to get movement by the Eagles, but I think the movement came from Green Bay.
False start. Offense number 73. 5-yard penalty. First fourth down.
And now the field goal unit will come on.
Killer. You know, you can't beat yourself. You've got your hands full in here with a one-loss team as it is. You just can't beat yourself.
They're not slowing down. Now Yosh Nijman called for the false start to Crosby. Will come on for a 29-yard field goal. Only Jason Hanson during his days with Detroit. More points for one team than Crosby has scored for Green Bay. 3 more there, and Aaron Rodgers is headed up to the locker room. So Rodgers jogs to the locker room after leading the team on a field goal drive. We'll keep an eye on that. 2:03 in the third. Playing through pain, trying to keep the season alive. Facing the franchise, feeling it. Stay a length ahead of Minnesota, and they have the heads-to-head. Over there, Green Bay is trying to jump up with the Atlanta loss, the Detroit loss, the Seattle loss. That could help them. Washington sitting in that last spot at 7-5, so 2 back compared to 3 back would be a significant difference. Boston Scott on the return here for Philadelphia, and he'll bring it out to the 27-yard line.
Mike, what do you think? They're trying to stay a length ahead of Minnesota or 2 lengths ahead of the Cowboys? I think the Cowboys have
both,
their attention.
Right?
Yeah,
a little bit of both.
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers, we saw him go up the tunnel. He is questionable to return. They're calling it an oblique injury. This is the play at the start of the second half. They went 3 and out. Rodgers took the hit on that one, and there you see the compilation of reactions during that drive. And then while we were going to break, he was going up to the locker room with the athletic training staff. Of course, Jordan Love, the former first-round pick, is the backup. He warmed up for a couple of minutes. We'll keep an eye on that. Got to stop Philly first, and Jalen Hurts has not been easy tonight. Isaiah McDuffie, the tackle, gain of 6 as Hurts starts closing in on 150 yards.
And the Green Bay Packers start closing in on potentially their quarterback of the future in Jordan Love.
Depending on how this night goes, and then the next couple of weeks, we'll start a long conversation. Pressure here. Hollins almost got there. Hurts taking off again. And he'll get another first down out to the 41-yard line. You've been here for many of the games that Randall Cunningham or Donovan McNabb or Michael Vick. Philly's always had somebody running the ball to go with passing, and Jalen Hurts is the next one.
Oh, he's for sure the next one. You know, and we've been discussing this weekend. Have we reached the tipping point now to where if you don't have a quarterback that has some mobility, that has the ability to create on his own with his legs, are you at a disadvantage? We haven't played that way in the NFL for a lot of years, but more and more that seems to be the way it's going.
Hurts throws this one, it is caught, and to the sideline goes Miles Sanders for the first down. Well, what do you think? Do you think you need a guy who does both to be a championship team right now?
I just know that as quarterbacks age, and we've had some great ones, right? Put Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, and there's so many of them, that everybody is looking around for that next style because all the college quarterbacks now are playing like Jalen Hurts.
Exactly.
And so I think that now that people are comfortable with the idea that a quarterback can run and still play a 17-game season, yeah, I think it's a big advantage.
On second down, Hurts gets away, and throws it away. As we get to the end of the third quarter, from the great city of Philadelphia is brought to you by Geico. A lot of you are going to go back to your offices, those of you still working at office on Monday, and you'll see the holiday decorations where you live, where you work. A lot of folks been putting up decorations over the weekend. Great cities around America ready to celebrate best time of the year. Off we go to the fourth. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark, Terry McCauley, and company here in Philadelphia. And it's a run by Kenneth Gainwell, and it is another first down. And that rushing odometer keeps rolling for Nick Sirianni's team.
We talk about him a lot, but Jason Kelce, his ability to get to what they call the second level, get up and athletically match with the linebackers in the National Football League, and you know how athletic they are, and stay on that block, continue that block right to the ground.
Brother Travis had another big day today. Hurts pulls it, throws it incomplete as he made the late decision and tried to get it to Quez Watkins. It will be second down. Kelce had another touchdown in the Chiefs' victory over the Rams. And Chris, you mentioned it earlier, the pocket quarterbacks, the guys who have been the standard. And Brady, Rodgers, Matthew Stafford with the Rams winning the Super Bowl last year. Matt Ryan, who we'll see next Sunday night for Indianapolis. They play on Monday night this week against Pittsburgh. Those are the teams right now who are division favorites who are not anywhere near the top of the division right now, except for Tampa.
All right, Michael, let's take a look at our next-gen stats powered by AWS. And what else can it be? Jalen Hurts and his ability to run and his ability to create and his ability to not get hurt while he's doing all this. And then when they tried to take away his runs, he was able to win with his arm, completing big passes down the field. The biggest one being right before the half to give him the lead going in at halftime. He has put on some kind of show here tonight.
Huge play for the Packers defense, 3rd and 7. It'll be a give, and it's Gainwell getting 5 to the 35. And here the field goal will be 53 yards. We'll see if Nick Sirianni will just go for it on 4th and a yard or so and just keep the guys right at the huddle, and here they go.
Not when I had this offensive line. I'm going for it all day.
Hurts, they didn't convert earlier in the evening, but this time looks like they've got it at the 33-yard line.
All right, here we go. Well, this is a double cheek push here. Now, when he goes off that way, sometimes you only get a single cheek, but that's what they do. They submarine underneath, and then they try to get the double cheek push going, and it works all the time. Look at the 4-man or 4-point stance underneath there, and then you just shove them right forward like that.
You didn't do that, did you?
That's the way they described it to me.
I know, and
I'm
you
just
explained it to us, but
regurgitating.
did you have to give it to all of America?
Yes.
Oh, dancing cheek to cheek has a whole new meaning on Sunday Night Football. Here's Rodgers, no uniform jersey on as he heads back to the sideline. That tells you a lot. And by Geico, save even more when you bundle home and car insurance. Halftime tonight. Congratulations to the new inductees to Eagles Hall of Fame. Trent Cole, defensive end, mid-2000s, 2014. A little bit before that, Hugh Douglas, shouting out his alma mater of Central State University, with some of the other Eagle Hall of Famers behind him. Great night for those guys. From the 33, another gift to Boston Scott this time. He's to the 14-yard line, and the Eagles are over 300 rushing yards tonight.
You're going to get a little bit of everything, including tight ends blocking. This offensive line, these tight ends have just been dominant out here tonight. I mean, they have just simply been dominant. And it makes me believe even more in what the Eagles can do this year.
Injured Eagle is Jair Alexander. Second time he has gone down. Look at Alexander's leg. Nick Sirianni is continuing the conversation with the officials, and he was pointing some of his frustration about the injuries that were happening when the Eagles were trying to go quick across the sideline as well earlier. Alexander helped up, booed, and now he waves to the crowd as they boo him as he's walking off the field. Alexander came off. His coach, Matt LaFleur, met him, just had a conversation with him. Corey Ballantyne replaces him. The Eagle fans didn't see that Alexander was working out some cramps earlier on the sideline. Our spotter, Mike Black, up here was watching that when the Packers offense was on the field. Boston Scott in the lineup, 1st and 10, Philadelphia. And Hurts throws, incomplete. Trying to get it to Devontae Smith, and the coverage from Rasul Douglas, and Alexander comes back on the field and is welcomed Philly style.
Yeah, he said goodbye to them as he was going off the field too.
He has earned it, no doubt.
He's not shy.
If the Eagle fans could call a play right now, it would be towards Alexander.
And it might be, because they've got that 6-man lineup there. It's pure man right now.
Scott to the right, be tackled here by T.J. Slayton. Want to note that Landon Dickerson, the left guard for the Eagles, went out a couple of plays ago. Andre Dillard is in at the left guard for Philadelphia. There's Dickerson, was in the medical tent. They were looking at his ankle. And the fourth-year man from Washington State, Dillard, who's got about a dozen offensive snaps this year, in there now.
Need to stop right now, though. Keeps you in it. They can hold him to a field goal.
And again, we saw Aaron Rodgers emerge from one room back there. I assume it was X-ray, back to the Packer locker room. I've not seen him come out towards the sideline from the 13. Here is Hurts, flush to the right. Spinning around is Hurts. Looking downfield, going to throw to the end zone. Corner, incomplete. Kept it alive for Quez Watkins, who got right in Alexander's face. As those two were involved, and it will bring on the field goal unit.
And the Packers really have changed their strategy now, and it's a good change by Jalen Hurts, too. They just sort of squeezed Jalen Hurts into the pocket now. They're not flying around the edge the way they did in the first half. Make sure he doesn't escape.
So the incompletion sets up Jake Elliott for a 31-yard field goal. And for the right hash, Elliott able to knock it through. First touchdown of the night, 14-point game, and Jordan Love in the city of brotherly love when you come back. 8-3 Cowboys. We mentioned the Colts will play the Monday nighter against Pittsburgh. We'll see Indy in Dallas, the Sunday night 7. Free-to-play NBC Sports Predictor app, your chance to win the $100,000 jackpot. And undoubtedly there will be many interested viewers in Philadelphia as the Cowboys and the Eagles continue to battle in the East. All the way out of the back of the end zone by Elliott. It's a touchback. Aaron Rodgers' night. Brought the team back with a couple of touchdowns, but then Chris here in the third quarter, a lot of pain.
Yeah, you could see it throughout the course of the second half, and just the little flinches on those passes started to happen, and the thumb's a mess, the oblique's a mess, and the season's been a mess, and it's been tough. And now we see, and who knows how long, you know, you can make an argument at whatever they are, 4-8 now.
If they don't come back.
If they don't win this game, that you had to see this guy anyway. So why not throw him in against the best? So far, the Eagles are the best in the league.
Jordan Love, 26th pick of the 2020 draft. Hands here, it's just 1 yard there. Linval Joseph tackles Aaron Jones. And Jordan Love is the quarterback taken before Jalen Hurts in the draft. Love was taken 26th, Hurts in the second round, 53rd overall. And of course, it was, if you go back, the whole story, the surprise that Aaron Rodgers felt, not knowing that they were going to take a quarterback there late in the first round. And did you really need to? He didn't play in 2020, was the number 3.
You never draft a receiver, right, all that sort of stuff, yeah.
Made one start last year when Rodgers had COVID, game in Kansas City. He started 19 of 34 against the Chiefs. Love will swing this one out, and A.J. Dillon somehow stayed on his feet. I have no idea how, to the 30-yard line. Wow, and he's taking the worst of that. What a hit.
I tell you, these two running backs are just two tough human beings. They do not give up. He's played great tonight. You know that? A.J. Dillon's played great. Now you've got to keep an eye on the legs of Jordan Love here as well, because he is a guy that can create in the same way that Jalen Hurts can.
Third and 5, the left throw is complete. It's out of bounds for Lazard, and it's a first down. So I guess it was, what, week 2, we had Chicago and Green Bay, and you see the preseason, you watch, and everybody said Jordan Love from last year's preseason to this was so much better. They really kind of got it and figured it out this offseason.
But he wasn't playing this defense, and he wasn't 14 points down, but there's time, right? If this is Aaron Rodgers and he's perfectly healthy, you're going, they can still win this thing. Now you just need to have that same feeling going for Jordan Love.
The 37, here he is throwing in the middle. It's caught by Watson. He's got great speed. Turning the corner. Christian Watson down the sideline. And he will score. Whoa. Hang on. Love to Watson. To a one-score game.
Wow. We're seeing a lot of stuff here tonight. This one is the stunner. You basically feel like, all right, this Eagles team sort of has this thing under control, and then Christian Watson hits the Jets again. 6 touchdowns now in the last 3 games. He is really something. When he gets in the open field and running, that was some throw by Jordan Love, too.
Extra point, Mason Crosby. It's a little fade, knocks it through. It's been a great weekend of football. Not done yet. Jordan Love to Christian Watson, who's in the all-he-can-do-is-catch touchdowns mode now. Still got a game in Philly. 37-30. Packed down 7. Receptions this year. 6 of them were touchdowns. 28% of his catches are touchdowns.
Throw it to him more.
Yeah, no kidding. First Packer rookie since 1952, and Billy Houghton to have a touchdown reception in 3 consecutive games. Now the Eagles have to maintain possession, kill some clock. The return by Boston Scott just out to the 21-yard line. Pretty sweet throw by the man who they've been waiting to see, Jordan Love. Matt LaFleur comes over, a little smile.
Mike, those were 2 really good throws. And okay, the touchdown, we all saw that one. That little throw from the far hash to the out over here was a laser shot.
So 8:55, the Eagles have run it for 311 yards tonight. And the Packers defense come up with a stop to give them a chance to tie the game. Sanders out of the Quay Walker tackle. The answer is no right now. To the 37-yard line. And a Philadelphia first down. They're 26th of the night.
Just too many missed tackles out here. Quay Walker, definitely the pressure on him now as the signal caller, but that was some move there by Miles Sanders as well. Somebody defensively has to step up at this point and make a play. They need a turnover. They need an interception. They need somebody, a sack, anything to turn the tide here.
Hurts keeps it. Bounces off the tackle of McDuffie and brought down by Rudy Ford. Stays down for a while, too. Just a yard there.
Isaiah McDuffie, welcome to the club. Have Jalen Hurts dead to rights here. No problem. Good read by Hurts. No way he's missing that tackle. Jalen Hurts is, well, we've talked about it. He's a power lifter, you know,
Totally.
and it shows. The strength of his legs show every time we've watched him play.
Halfway through the 4th. 2nd and 9. Straight drop back for Hurts. And a straight takeoff for Hurts. Another first down. What a performance.
When you rush 4, that means there's going to be 2 gaps somewhere. And you can see where they are, and so can Jalen. And so you leave that spy in there, you leave McDuffie in there to try and come up with a play, and we just haven't seen anybody all night that one-on-one gets them on the ground.
Duo, both over 125 yards. Frank Gore, Colin Kaepernick.
And they're great, but the 5 guys up front have been better than great.
Fabulous. Part of 332 rushing yards. Quay Walker could not make the tackle on Boston Scott. And finally, Keyshawn Nixon pushes him out of bounds at the 46. It's a pickup of 4 yards here.
And really, we've seen all 3 of these backs now be factors, and they were in the last game against the Colts as well when they had to make that comeback. But even on that final drive, they were not afraid to have Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell in the game. I wonder if you just try a blitz, you know, just come after him. At this point, you cannot allow him to run the football one more time.
I'm just thinking of what we saw with the Chargers a few weeks ago against Atlanta. 5-man line, 6-man line, something, right? Sanders. Pushed out of bounds by the combination of Douglas and Ford. You can just tell this team is exhausted on defense, too. 71 plays run by the Eagles, just 43 by the Packers tonight.
Yeah, and you get the feeling that this might be it. Here's their 3rd down and 2 or 3 yards here. They are exhausted. This is your opportunity. I think the Eagles would have to punt it from midfield, and you've got your shot.
Yep. Full complement of timeouts to the Packers. Gainwell, the running back. And inside, he's got another one. Oh, this offensive line's extraordinary. To the 44-yard line.
Well, we have not seen anything from Kenny Clark tonight, who is one of the great nose tackles in all of football. And that's because he has a very athletic guy on his nose, Jason Kelce. And there are times that Jason Kelce, who's not the biggest guy in the world, can get pushed back. But when you look at the stats at the end of the night, the tenacity of Kelce has just won the battle.
Eagles within 30 yards of their all-time rushing record in a game. 2 yards there for Gainwell. 4:25 to go. And what you said earlier, Chris, I want to come back to the addition of A.J. Brown, because A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and obviously Dallas Goedert's out, but all of a sudden now that gives you the passing threat to go with 330-something yards on the ground.
So what do you do?
Right.
You know, because if you decide to come with one of those all-out blitzes, now you're playing one-on-one with those two great players on the outside. It's the reason they have one loss on the season.
Second and 8. They will throw it here, and a good tackle in the open field by Nixon to force a 3rd and long. With 3:40 to go.
That Keyshawn Nixon out there, he's done a nice job tonight. Not only the kick returns, and that's a tough spot to have to go in and play the slot. He really took over for Darnell Savage after Savage left the safety position to go there, but Nixon just outplayed him.
And as you like to say, here we go. Right here, 3rd and 6. Make it 7. Gainwell on the inside. They will tackle him at the 37. A body part comes down there. So it's 4th and 2. You're leading by 7. A field goal from here.
I think you go
54.
for it. I mean, it's just, you don't want to leave the ball on this side of the 40-yard line.
Absolutely.
With 2:49 or whatever to go. I think you go here. It's unbelievable how anxious you are to see Jordan Love have a shot at this thing.
And LaFleur hanging on to his timeouts because he can try to get a few timeouts before the 2-minute warning if they pick up the 1st down. But here you go on 4th and 3. And just try to draw him off. Philly has 1 left, and we'll see what they do. Let's see, going to bring out the field goal kicking unit here. So go for the field goal at this point.
Or are they going to punt it?
Let's see. It's out there. I don't see Elliott. You're right. Well, here's the story. 9-1 are the Eagles. Could it be that Viking fans are rooting for the Packers tonight? Well, as strange as that sounds, maybe a little bit, to try to bring Philly and Minnesota tied again. The tiebreaker does belong to Philadelphia. Niners get a win to jump on top of the division. Tampa 5-6 in leading, and they would host a playoff game even if Dallas is 3 or 4 games better than the Giants and Washington and the other teams trying to hang in there. That's why this is so crucial for Green Bay. So a 54-yard field goal attempt from Elliott, who has just attempted 3 field goals over 40 yards this year. He's missed 2 of those 3. For a 10-point lead. got it.
Wow.
Big kick. By the Pro Bowler a year ago, Jake Elliott.
That took a lot of guts from Nick Sirianni to make that call, because if that kick is no good, you're basically giving the Green Bay Packers, on a day where we've seen two teams win it with two-point conversions, right? At the end of the day, and Sirianni goes, yeah, that was gutsy. I'm just telling you, that was gutsy, and I don't think LaFleur could believe it.
Job.
When you're on a roll, you're on a roll, and everything works.
QB the kicker. You know, you see Sirianni's emotions over there. We're going to get to Love on the field here momentarily. Down 10, 2:16. 2-minute warning and 3 timeouts. But Nick Sirianni is the perfectly cast head coach for Philadelphia. Last week, where he used to coach Indy, and Frank Reich, who was one of his mentors along the way, gets fired. Nick's on the bench. He's yelling, that was for Frank Reich. They love him here. Nixon, good return. Keyshawn Nixon, look out. Kicker past him to the 47-yard line. What a hustle play by Kayvon Wallace to help save a long return. And Nixon and Rich Bisaccia's special teams have been very good here tonight in the return game.
He is bringing this thing out from about 7 yards deep in the end zone, and he has proven to be some return man here tonight. Tell you what, that was some play by Wallace to track that one down, or he might have scored.
Wow.
Seen everything else tonight.
No kidding. 2:09 to go, 10-point game. Jordan Love in for the injured Aaron Rodgers.
Same play.
And Watson again, he's got it down to the 38, and that will take us to the 2-minute warning. And Jordan Love and Watson will be the Packers' future. Get him in the end zone and give him a chance for an onside kick. It's been a wild night to end the holiday weekend here in Philadelphia. Eagles 40-30. Heavy metal going, a little headbangers ball here in Philadelphia. 2 minutes to go, 40-30. It's been a wild kind of night. All right, 38-yard line of the Eagles, down 10, Jordan Love at the helm. Aaron Jones split out, bottom of the screen. Going that way, and Jones couldn't bring it in. Safety Marcus Epps was closing.
How good was that throw? And that's the old cover 2 shot in the hole, and it was perfect. Back shoulder. Jones just doesn't make the catch, but you can't throw it better than that. So far tonight, he has been perfect throwing the football.
Chris, when we were up there at the start of the season, Aaron Rodgers said about Jordan Love, one of the biggest differences, he's cleaned up his fundamentals. He's become a master of the offense. After his preseason, he's light years ahead of where he was last year. And he's played very limited, only 9 snaps, 2 games. Looks good so far. Lazard with the catch here to the 21-yard line. He's showing everything of that here tonight. We have an injured Eagle, which is going to stop the clock and force Philadelphia to use its final timeout with 1:46.
A little tongue waggle there. Why not? Michael Jordan used to do a little bit of that. But he has been, as far as the throws, perfect on everyone so far. That was a little behind, but that was thrown with such great anticipation. He was still behind the defender. Don't know exactly what Lazard's going to do coming out.
Reed Blankenship, the injured player. So you were in the booth with Bryant Gumbel on NFL Network almost 15 years ago tonight, November 29, 2007. Rodgers' 3rd season, 9-1 Dallas taking on 9-1 Green Bay. Favre got hurt. Rodgers came in the game. Rodgers became the starter the next season. Just not saying that's going to happen, just laying that out for symmetry of what's about to happen over the next few weeks.
Yeah, Aaron reminded me.
He did. From the 21, $1:46 to go. Again, all 3 timeouts still for Green Bay. Love flushed. He's got Lazard with him. He'll throw it that way. Now to the end zone, incomplete, as Watson was crossing as well. Lazard had spun away from his man in a scramble drill, and he chose Watson in the end zone.
Yeah, I wasn't sure who he chose. This is the first one he's really missed. Lazard turned up, and if he held it for one more second, he runs right past Slay, and he's going to score. If he throws that one up over the top, you always have the option, right? We talk about it all the time. You can kick the field goal, go onside, Hail Mary, all that sort of stuff.
2nd and 10 for the 21. Protected here, throws brought down by Tunyon at the 15-yard line. No timeout used. Remember, Aaron Rodgers has not been practicing the last few weeks on Wednesdays trying to rest that thumb, so Jordan Love has gotten some time with the ones in practice up at Lambeau. $1:20 to go, 3rd and 4. Looking left, it's covered, escapes to the right on the run. He fires to the end zone, incomplete. He had Randall Cobb for a moment. Kayvon Wallace breaks it up, and they will kick the field goal here, Chris, with 1:11 to go.
As this thing first broke, I was thinking he was going to take off and run with it, but you're going to end up with Cobb right back here in the middle of the field, making a nice adjustment. Just threw it behind him on that one, and maybe he saw Darius Slay coming the other way. That was a little
very, very, very
close. A little early.
Yeah. Got to have it, Mason Crosby from 33. It's an extra point-sized field goal. It's a 7-point game, and it's onside kick time with 1:08 to go.
Well, I'll say one thing. The Green Bay Packers did not go down easy. They were down 14 or 13 to start the game and come back and slug their way back into it, tie it up, and they're not going away. You saw Jalen Hurts there kind of go, like, what do we got to do to knock these guys out? We've been doing everything on offense.
The Eagles are trying to get the #1 seed if the road to the Super Bowl in the NFC come through here. Here's the path. And they're battling with Minnesota. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. We saw them Thursday night. They get to 9-2. Tennessee here next week. Go down that left column. The division games ahead. The Giants. The huge game on Christmas Eve at Dallas. And then the Giants to end the season. On the other side, the Vikings have the Jets, who had a win today. The Lions, who, as you've seen, very tough every game. Colts, then the Giants, and then the last two. They've got all 3 division games on the road remaining due the Vikings. And again, head-to-head win for the Eagles, so if they win tonight, they're essentially 2 up with 6 to go, racing for #1. Onside kick time. And watch Keyshawn Nixon down here at the bottom. Might be the guy who's free to get it if the Packers can get the right hop. Veteran Crosby going to go to the other side to the left. It's touched by the Eagles and recovered quickly by Philadelphia as Jack Stoll, the tight end. Again, the game not over because Green Bay has the full complement of timeouts still remaining.
All right, let's tell the story of the night, though. The story has been the play of this offensive line. We hit on it early in the game, and it just kept working all night long across the board. Mailata, Dickerson, Dillard now, Kelsey, Sayamadu, Johnson, and there's the architect right there, Jeff Stoutland. Game balls all around for those guys. They have been fantastic.
The most rushing yards in 74 years for the Eagles. Now, if they stop them and use all 3 timeouts, the Packers can get the ball back with 45 seconds or so and no timeouts. But stopping them has been a huge problem. First run here to the left, goes for a couple of yards for Miles Sanders. And the timeout at 1:01 to go. Well, we saw the Philadelphia path and what they have ahead schedule-wise. How about in terms of how they're playing? Are they on schedule enough to be that #1 seed? Obviously the offense, yes, but what about the other side of the ball?
Yes. I mean, there's enough there. We've seen them have their moments on the defensive side as well, and it really was a tremendous performance against the Colts that really gave them a chance in that one. But I would say add one team in there, and that's the San Francisco 49ers. They're playing awfully well right now, but you know so much of this season is going to come down to these Eagles and those Cowboys that we're going to see next week. And so we'll get a direct comparison.
2nd and 8. Sanders to the right, stopped here. Timeout taken. 56 seconds to go. As we were traveling around this week and you're watching the games, I asked a bunch of folks on our crew, so if I gave you San Francisco and Dallas and Philly and Minnesota, and you could only take two, which two would you take? And the answers vary. They're all around. People believe in these teams, and these guys add Ndamukong Suh. What's going to happen with Odell Beckham? Will he be added by the Giants or the Cowboys? Or will what happened this week, today I should say, in Miami with Beckham having a run-in and being taken off an airplane, will that have any issue in Beckham signing with a team down the line? It's a fascinating final month plus of the season we have.
I think Jerry will sign him anyway.
3rd and 3. Packers got to stop him. Sanders got it. And the Eagles are going to get this one. Only appropriate on one of the best nights running the football in Eagles history. 364 yards. 301 of them for Hurts and Sanders, that they close it with that. A first down run for Sanders.
You know what, Mike? You've got to give some credit here to Jalen Hurts. After that playoff game against Tom Brady last year, everybody had the same question. Yeah, he's good, but can he ever match up against one of the great quarterbacks and go in it with a shootout and win the football game? Well, guess what? He did it. He did it tonight. That was fantastic. It was toe-to-toe with one of the legends of the game, and he was the difference.
And for Green Bay, who knows what the next 4 or 5 weeks will be. The injury to Aaron Rodgers will tell a lot of that story. Will we see Jordan Love get his opportunity as we go into a 4th year, and they have to decide in this offseason if Love will get the 5th year, the contract extension that you can give a first rounder. A lot to play out in Green Bay, but the Packers at 4-8, when they felt like they had to run the table, get run on for the 363-yard performance by the Eagles on the ground tonight. Aaron Rodgers knocked down in this one, an oblique injury. As Packers made a comeback after falling down 13, took the lead, but the Eagles poured it on in the second half. Big night for Jalen Hurts in Philly. They win 40-33. SNF postgame is coming up. First, these messages from your local NBC station.